Hey guys, how's it going? If you do enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I do plan on making more videos like this, just trying to run through all of the operators. And there will be a playlist eventually that I will make of all of the operators together, just so you guys know how to play them. Today I'm going to be running through Echo and how I'd recommend playing him on Clubhouse in a ranked game. I'm going to start off with the CCTV and cash room site. I'm just going to quickly run through where I'd recommend putting your rotates, your yokais, and just good line of sights to hold. To start off, I'd recommend impacting top of garage, unless you do have a smoke. Then he can always shotgun it out for you. Garage is where I'd recommend playing. This just allows you to have good lines of sight, and this is someplace you do need to hold. If you do have a Jaeger, hopefully you guys do, I would recommend putting like a Jaeger on this corner or along the line here, just because an easy way for you guys to lose garage is just get grenaded. I did put this impact here because it does act as a nice rotate, but it does give you some nice lines of sight. You guys can see across to the cash room door. Since you guys are playing garage, you can see if they do blow over the wall, and then you do also have the line of sight from the window. I do recommend reinforcing this wall, just because then they can't shoot back at you really easily, because the line of sight that they have is a lot better than the line of sight you have back at them, because then you only have this little bit to hide behind. The window, normally you won't want to vault through too much, just because if you do lose the top of these stairs, they can always shoot you from across. Your yokais, I'd recommend putting one definitely in CCTV, just because you never want to lose this area, and this is probably where they're generally going to try and plant. I generally throw my yokai up here and then maneuver it around a little bit, and then you get this good nice spot where you can actually see outside along with the default spots, which will kind of help, your second one, it's up to you on where you want to put it. You could put it in cash room, just in case you think they're going to do a construction push, but it does vary. Since I play garage, I normally put one in here to help me out. So I normally like aim towards this red thing down there, and then when I go up, I actually get on this green like air duct, and I can actually see all of garage. So I can see the entrance over here, I can see the entrance over here. Let's see, in some cases you can also move it over to this other one, this other green air duct. If you get it up here, then you can actually also see these garage doors. You can see a little bit more. The only positive about being back there is you can also see farther outside this door. That's it for this site. I'll do basement next. Okay, so now that we're on the basement of Clubhouse, I'll just run through reinforcements quick. I'd always recommend reinforcing these back three walls. This center one, do not reinforce the one on each side. If you do want to reinforce one of them, you could, get away with maybe the right one. Definitely don't do the left one. You do want to rotate into blue, just because normally you want like a Jaeger playing in there to hold it. For your yokais, I'd always recommend having one probably on this box area, just because you always want to keep one generally around sight, and by putting it here you get a good line of dirt coming from blue, and then also if they're back there you can kind of see them. If they are over there though planting, you can always just maneuver it over so you can reach that plant over there. Your other yokai, this is where it gets iffy. You could put it on the other site. I generally recommend having this one. This is kind of going to differ from upstairs. I like to have it kind of a little bit away from sight. You can put it in kitchen. It might help, just so you can get information while they're going for the kitchen hatch. This is just assuming that they do actually go for the kitchen hatch, which generally most teams will. And then from here you could always later in the round move back into sight, or just move it to the bottom of these stairs. I do like also putting it in the doorway, because then you can kind of see all the way down, or you can see people coming from these stairs, just to get nice intel. So generally, your impacts you want to save. Hopefully you have a smoke or someone with a shotgun. um, to open up blue. If you don't, you can always use 1 there. But mainly you can also save your impact to impact trick. What you're going to want to do is there's a, so let's say a Hibana or a Thermite's going for this hatch. You can actually impact trick by throwing an impact not at the hatch, but next to it, if you have a hole here. Over here, there is like a little cart up in kitchen. If you're able to actually hit that, it will destroy the Hibanas or the Thermites that are on top. Main thing, just make sure it is reinforced. Okay. When you're down here, you can either probably play in church behind the bar, depending if it's later round. Just because this is generally a nice safe spot that either the attackers are going to push to try and plant themselves, or just a good place to hide away and be on your yokais and try and protect against the plant. The main thing you want to do is always be alive to prevent the plant in the end. And the main thing is just don't get too aggressive with Echo, because you do want to be alive to actually stop the plant from going down. You could also play deep into B site, try and watch the drop and hatch. Main thing you do want to be careful though, is they can just blow open the floor if they have a sledge or anyone with breaching charges or a buck. Generally they're going to open up the floor, try and fish you out from here. And if this hatch is open, as soon as you cross, you're probably going to die because they'll probably have someone watching. You could also play along AK. Main thing you gotta just make sure about is dirt. Is it blown? Is it not blown? And then blue. If you do have someone playing in here, are they still alive? Or also just watch from the garage entirely, because depending on where you are, they can kind of see you before they even reach the guy in blue, unless your guy in blue does actually swing on them and kill them. Okay, so now I'm just gonna run through gym. Okay, so now we're gonna be upstairs on the top floor. Gym. Main thing is I really wouldn't play Echo on this site. I'd recommend playing probably a Maestro. I mean, both are really good, but you can play Echo on this site. If you do have impacts, just make sure you impact all the way to the wall here, and then all the way here. Okay, so then I'd also recommend reinforcing this wall and then shooting out the floor. Hopefully you have someone with a shotgun. Like a smoke, I do recommend a smoke on this site. It will come in handy. I'd always recommend putting at least 1 yokai on site. Just so if anything does happen later in the round, you do get vision if you're dead, but also you can stop the plant if you are alive. With this site, and if you are playing Echo, I'd recommend not actually playing on site. I generally will play around garage still, just because garage overall is going to be probably a point where they're going to try and push through. If not through garage, then definitely CCTV. But if you play in garage, it's always easy just to rotate your CCTV back to cache, and it will make it a lot easier trying to at least slow them down. Your second yokai, I would recommend putting in probably cache or CCTV. Just so you do have a good watch on your flank, because if you are playing garage, you are able to watch the garage door, and from bottom of garage if they come from over there. But the hard part is they can always just kind of cut you off from the rest of the map. If they do decide to come from CCTV, they can always just pinch you, depending on where you have, if you do have your rotate, or if you do have this wall reinforced, they can always just suffocate you into garage. So the main thing, I'd always recommend being careful. That's why you put your yokai over here to watch your flank. You can always have someone on it, or you can check it. Main thing, just always have your ears open, listen around. If anything does happen to go wrong in garage, leave. If you do get a kill, leave. I always recommend, if you get something, take it and don't risk. Just because if you're risking yourself, next thing you know, that 5v4 turns into a 4v4, and depending on who you get, losing Echo is a game changer for the entire game. So I'd recommend just getting out. If you do get a pick, that's when I'd fall back to CCTV, decide, is there someone out here, maybe I can get another pick, or if all this doesn't seem like the best place for me, like they have the wall blown open, there's a guy watching from roof. It's always hard to contest the people that are on roof, or they just have the whole team kind of just pressuring you, trying to get rid of you. I'd recommend falling back to cache. This is always a good place to hide on top of like this cache table. You can kind of get a line of sight, depending on if you have this wall reinforced or not. It's always just a good place to hold. You can shoot people if they decide to come to the door. If they have this wall blown at the top of the stairs, it kind of will cut you off again. So once again, if you see things going wrong, just fall back again. If you're playing inside of construction, I wouldn't recommend staying there for very long, especially when you're Echo, just because if you're going and playing in here, you don't really have time to get off and check your drones, check your yokais. And from here, they can always pinch you by blowing the outside wall, or just having this window open and having someone pressure from both sides. Then you are kind of screwed just because you really have nowhere to go. And if they have someone pushing from cache as well, you're kind of screwed. You definitely have no place to hide, because if you're standing anywhere over here, you can get shot from this window. If you're standing farther out, you can get shot from every single spot, and you can't really fight all of them at once. As soon as this all starts going downhill, hopefully you do have a decent bit of time wasted. Bathroom is a good place to hide, not a good place to stay. So once you're in the bathroom, you can easily, deny the plant. Hopefully you do have a Jaeger or something in here, just because, for the end of the round, this is where you want to be, but hopefully you did have someone kind of playing this area during the round. So once you're hiding in here, it's always good to be able to stop the plants. That's why you did have your yokai on site. And then hopefully you do win the round. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys do want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. You could always share the video with your friends, if they suck at playing Rainbow. I am not claiming to be a champion or some pro league player. These are all just tips that I'd recommend anyone, or at least I wish I was recommended when I started playing Rainbow. Hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, don't forget to check out the rest of the content.